All right, class. Today's topic, democracies in the 1920s in Europe. Our essential question, how did the political and economic troubles of Europe lead to World War II? So first in Germany, you had the Weimar Republic. The Socialist Democratic Party, or SPD, takes over in 1918, and they were the Weimar Republic. Weimar is a region in Germany, and that's how they got that name. The Weimar Republic relied on the conservative army to help control the country. Weimar signs the Treaty of Versailles in 1919, and many people from Germany felt that that was a stab in the back and that they should not have signed that Versailles Treaty, although England, France, the United States kind of forced them. They still felt that it was a stab in the back. Now in 1923 we had the Ruhr crisis. Germany could not pay back the reparations that was stipulated in the Versailles Treaty. So France occupies the Ruhr region of Germany, which was a very industrial region, and thus the people in that area, German-speaking, were very, very upset that they were now being controlled by the French. Germany's inflation was out of control. We've talked about before, money was virtually worthless. There was the beer hall push by Hitler. Hitler's failed attempt to overthrow the country. He was all fired up. He was going to march into Berlin, take over the country. Did not work. He got 1 year in jail, and at that point he writes the book Mein Kampf. The Larocco Pact, 1925, settles the differences by peaceful measures and borders of the new countries that were disputed because of all the creation of new countries after World War I. Was also something that, a point of contention that people could settle peacefully. Now, France and Britain, Great Britain at this time, more social equality. In 1928, women over the 21 were enabled the right to vote. Unemployment was a little bit high, 12%. It was a problem in the 1920s. In 1926, there was a general strike for miners, and they tried to make it a nationwide strike, but it failed. At that point, the government got fired up, and they outlawed labor strikes in 1927, so unions were not even allowed to hold meetings and or plan future strikes. The Labour Party and the Conservative Party were the two large parties in Great Britain at that time. The Labour Party then starts to rise after this passage in 1927. It was a champion of the working class, even more social justice to those that were very needy at that time. France, World War I created economic and political problems in France. Poincaré put into office, he increased taxes, and it helped restore the economy in France quite a bit. Now the Irish question, we talked about this yesterday actually in class. We had the Easter Rebellion, a Sinn Féin faction, gains prominence. So in Ireland, for hundreds of years, up until this point, early 1900s, the people in Ireland wanted their own country. They wanted to be separate from Great Britain, and things were starting to come to a boiling point. The IRA, or the Irish Republican Army, fights against the Black and Tan, or the British occupied forces. So the Black and Tan was a nickname that the people from Britain were called, and they lived primarily in Northern Ireland, and this is who the IRA fought against quite a bit. In 1922, Britain grants Catholic Ireland autonomy. Remember, it's Catholic Ireland versus a Protestant Church of England. Now, the Great Depression, the stock market crash in 1929 affected the United States, but it also affected worldwide countries. The impact on Europe, every country felt the decline, especially Germany. Germany was especially hard hit during this time. Some of the Great Depression remedies: FDR's New Deal, U.S. intervention during the 30s. He brought forth a lot of public works, building roads, bridges, railroads, those kinds of public works, put people to work, and it increased our infrastructure. Keynesian approach in Britain worked permanently to prop up the economy. In 1938, Keynes was an economist, and his ideas really helped Britain at that time. France did not feel the Great Depression until a little bit later, but then felt it in the threat of fascism and socialism. France was surrounded by Italy on one side, Germany, and also by Spain. And these countries were moving much more to the right. So France is feeling it in different ways. The French did have the French New Deal with social reforms that encouraged unions and people to join in unions. I think that's the last board. So we'll see our next topic, I think, is totalitarianism. Remember, history's no mystery.